Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I am Dr. Krishnanand and you have been watching my series on environmental geography. So in this session on environmental geography, we are going to talk about one of the most learned and talked about topics in environment, that is about sustainable development. So what is this sustainable development all about and how it is linked with environment and ecology, that we are going to discuss in today's session. So before going ahead, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and do share the videos with others as well.
So now let's understand the concept of sustainable development. Now this word sustainable, it basically means what? To sustain, that is to continue. So continuity, that is from present to the future. So the first definition that we find out, the official definition is coming from Brundtland Commission, that is World Commission on Environment and Development, and it defines sustainability or sustainable development as that development which meets the needs of present. That's important, that it should meet the needs of present, but at the same time not compromising or without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their needs in future. So that's how it connects the present to the future. So that's important in terms of the concept of or definition of sustainable development. Apart from this, there are two important points that are to be emphasized when we look into sustainable development. The one is the natural resources and the second is the developmental activity and its future consequences. So remember, these are two important pillars of sustainable development. That is that what are the natural resources and how are we going to sustain it to the future generations, right? And also what kind of activity are we doing at the present and what are going to be its future consequences. So these are two things that needs to be taken care while talking about sustainable development. So if you look into this particular flow diagram, so it says this is the sustainability sphere, which is combination of three major spheres. One is environmental, that is coming from natural resource usage, environmental management, pollution prevention. And then you have economic sphere where you have profit, cost savings, economic growth, research and development happening. And the third is the social sphere, that is standard of living, education, community, equal opportunity. So when you fuse them together, this overlap makes it sustainable. So remember, sustainable development is a fusion of these three spheres of sustainability. That's important to quote here. Then, apart from this, we have one more definition that is coming from the thoughts of Mahatma Gandhi's principle of enoughness. That how much is enough, right? What is the need? So, the earth provides enough to satisfy every person's need, but not for every person's greed. So this statement can be quoted in terms of the principle of sustainability, that we always consider our need rather than greed. Unless we do that, things are not going to be sustained for futures to come. So that's important in terms of the basic concept. Now let's elaborate further more. So there are certain steps towards sustainable development that could be understood in these points. So adoption of energy and resource saving methods. Now remember, those methods that help us save the energy and resource. It means that is a sustainable method, right? That's important. New technology for minimization of waste and toxins. Remember, with growing age and technology and development, what is happening is that lots of waste and toxins are being generated. Right? So we need to minimize it. That's the second point. Then biodegradable, renewable and recyclable products. Now remember these three keywords: biodegradable, renewable and recyclable products to be utilized. So those products which can be either biodegraded, right? Then either it can be renewed after one's usage or it can be recycled. That is important because then it would reduce the burden on all those stock or fixed resources. That's important. Then comes the fourth important point here, that is education and awareness about environment among people. Unless we make people aware that how to utilize the resources, how to minimize the waste, how to recycle and use biodegradable products, remember there will be a problem which persists, and that is where it's not going to be sustainable unless we cater to common people. So if you observe here the sustainable development in center, it talks about people, it talks about prosperity, it talks about peace, also about partnership and also about planet. So we have the concept of 5P here: people, prosperity, peace, partnership and planet. We take care of all these P's together to make sustainable development. if any one of them is disturbed, remember the system concept, if any one part of the system is disturbed, it will impact the entire system. So to make it sustainable, we must consider the concept of 5 P's. Now let's go into the journey, or we can say historical development of this concept, how it emerged and how are we looking into it and what is the way forward. So that's important to learn. So going back to this concept of the tragedy of commons and sustainable development way back in 1968. So in 1968, the ecologist and philosopher Garrett Hardin, if you look at the gentleman, he wrote an essay entitled Tragedy of the Commons. And in this particular article, he argued that if individuals act independently, rationally, and focused on pursuing their individual interests, they would end up going against the common interest. So if individual interest overpower the common interest, then there is a problem. So of their communities and exhaust the planet's natural resources. So this is his argument of 1968 under the entitlement of this article, The Tragedy of the Commons. So in this way, human free access and unlimited consumption of finite resource would extinguish at certain time. So this was his argument, that if we don't understand this idea that there is a common interest, not just individual interest involved, then what will happen to the resources? It will get extinguished with time. Right? So Hardin believed that since man is compelled to procreate unlimitedly, remember, human population is going to increase. Right? Remember the Malthusian theory of population as well? It was talked there as well. Right? And earth resources would be eventually overexploited. Hence, it will get extinguished and it will lead to perils. Right? So that's a problem. So to his eyes, mankind needed to radically change its way of using the common resources. That's the main argument here in 1968. Then what we see is the limit to growth coming in 1972, and where you see Meadows et al., Meadows and Meadows report, as we say, in the Club of Rome. It was commissioned, and remember here 5 different dimensions were taught: world population growth, industrialization, pollution generation, food production, and non-renewable resource depletion. Remember these 5 different dimensions which were talked about in this concept, where the limits to growth was discussed. So all these 5 different scenarios were discussed, and the strongest ending scenario was that economic and social collapse would happen by the end of 21st century, and this is which triggered a huge movement around the world, and in terms of environmental movement, in terms of environmentalism that came, right? So limits to growth had a great role. So that's important. Now, let's talk about the first UN conference on the environment and sustainable development that took place in 1972 and in Stockholm, where we find human environment being the center of talks. Right? Here it was first time that human ecology and environment was the center of the talks, and people talked about the resource usage for the first time at an international platform. Then we see in 1980 the Human Development Index coming into the picture, the HDI. Right? Now HDI was a statistical tool. It had its own limits as well, but it tried to integrate economy and ecology together with quality of life as well. Right? So HDI development also gave one impetus that led to the further development of concept of sustainable development that we see. Then the Brundtland Report and Sustainable Development of 1987, if you look. So the Gro Harlem Brundtland, who was Norwegian politician, who also served 3 terms as Prime Minister of Norway, she was also the Director General of World Health Organization from 1998 to 2003. So what happens? She chaired this commission, which is called, on her name, Brundtland Commission. And they made a report known as Our Common Future. It was not individual future, it was our common future. And here, the first accepted definition that we learned earlier came in 1987. So following this report, this was the statement, right? The human ability to ensure that the current development meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So this was talking about intergenerational shift of resources, intergenerational equity of resource distribution. That was the main principle behind it. So that's important to understand here. So now, if you look into this circle of sustainable development or sustainability, what you find 4 major parts. One is the economics of it, right? In economics, what you see? Production and resourcing, exchange and transfer, accounting and regulation, consumption and usage, labor and welfare, technology infrastructure, wealth distribution. All these are part of economics. Then comes ecology at the same time. What do you observe here? Ecology has material and energy, water, air, flora, fauna, all that we have learned in the previous lectures as well in the principles of ecology, place, space, construction of settlements, emissions and waste, right? Then is important here is culture as another fourth pillar. So engagement and identity creation, recreational activity, creativity, memory, projection, belief systems, gender equations, inquiry and learning, health and well-being, all these are part of the human cultures. And then at the same time is the politics of it. So organization and governance, law and justice, right? Communication and movement, security and accord, all these functions including ethics and accountability, forms this entire circle of sustainability. Now, what you observe in this circle is the weaknesses, and you observe this quadrant of the circle is finding out to be getting weak, right? So we have critical or bad condition or highly unsatisfactory condition more in ecological sector, and that is where we are concerned about ecology. Because in other sectors, we find lots of development happening, right? Lots of things happening. But critical, bad, or highly unsatisfactory is an ecological part. So this is important to understand that there has to be a great ecological awareness in the society, right? Then let's understand these sustainable development goals. These are 17 goals, and it was set up finally by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015, and they are intended to be the targets to be achieved by 2030. So UN resolution called 2030 Agenda, which is also colloquially known as Agenda 2030. This is basically based on all these 17 goals. So I'm sure you must have read about all these goals. So first goal is no poverty. It means poverty alleviation programs around the world. Then zero hunger. It means you need food security. Then good health and well-being. Fourth is your education. Fifth is gender. Then you have clean water and sanitation as sixth important part. Then affordable and clean energy. Now remember, this is going to be one of the key, because it is not just about affordability but also about the waste that is happening and also about the needs that are getting greater and greater with time. So affordability is a question here. Then decent work and economic growth. Then you have industry and innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, then responsible consumption and production. 13th is your climate action, where we are talking every day about global climate change. In the climatology lecture also we talked about it. Then we have life below water, that is talking about the ocean's health, the marine health, right? Then we have life on land. That's talking about the living beings on the terrestrial planet, right? On the terrestrial sphere. So what we have is flora and fauna who are being endangered, who are getting extinct. Then we have peace, justice, and strong institutions. Remember, World Peace Initiative is very much important for all of us to make this sustainable development possible. And the 17th one is the partnership for the goals. Remember, nothing can sustain if it is individualistic. It has to be a common agenda, right? So partnership is also as important as any other. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals. And now let's look further into this map of the world of Sustainable Development Report 2020 and how the world looks through the indexes of sustainable development. So if you observe, greater than 80 is the deepest color. And if you observe this area, the Western Europe, the Scandinavian countries, right? These are the deepest areas, right? Apart from that, this next one is 70 to 80, then 60 to 70, and so on. So if you observe, most of the places in the world are under 70 to 80 and 60 to 70, right? Very few places or countries of the world are under or above 80. Right? That is what is visible in this index. Now let's look into the rankings according to Sustainable Development Report 2020. So the top 10 rankers are here. First is the Sweden, then you have Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Norway, Austria, Czech Republic, Netherlands, and Estonia. So what you observe, it is led by all the Scandinavian countries. You look at Sweden, Denmark, Finland, right? Norway. So all of them here, if you observe, they are coming from a particular location as we marked on the map. Now, if you want to look into the Indian performance, so we are performing on index score that is about between 60 to 70, that is 61.9, and global ranking in terms of sustainability is 117 out of 166 countries here. So if you observe, this is 17 goals, and in which goals we are doing good and in which we are not doing good, you can observe from here. So this is the trends that have been observed in Sustainable Development Report 2020. So in terms of first goal, no poverty, we are improving. Zero hunger, we are slightly improving. Then good health and well-being, we are slightly improving. Quality education, we are not improving as we should. Then gender equality, still a way to go. Then clean water and sanitation, we are improving. Right? This is according to the Sustainable Development Report, right? So that's important. The worst that we are doing here is life on land, which is going downward trend, right? So that's important to understand that the life on land, it means the protection for flora and fauna on land is very much important in terms of concern, right? So that's important. And if you look into this map, we are slightly better than some countries around us like Nepal, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh, also Sri Lanka. But if you compare with China, we are still lagging behind in terms of sustainable development goals, right? In terms of sustainability index, according to the last report. So lots of improvement is required in various sectors. You can pause the video here and you can yourself observe in which sectors we are leading, in which sectors development is supposed to go ahead, right? That's important to understand. Now, if we look into the sustainable development today, what is happening? Today's framework on sustainable development is very strong and it is a long way to go. Remember, IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report, it says that we need a reduction of CO2 emissions to control the Earth's temperature and keep it below 2 degrees C. Right? That's important. And beat plastic pollution. Multiple campaigns are being launched actively, but it needs to be taken care with utmost urgency, because remember, it's sustainable development that we are looking into. It has all the facets, the economy, the society, the ecology, cultures, everything is intertwined. So there are various factors which needs to be taken care that we have discussed under the sustainable development concept.
So now, when we have discussed about the details of sustainable development, in the sessions to come, we'll be talking about environmental hazards and their remedial measures. So stay safe, stay tuned, all the best wishes.